Okay. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us this evening. We will be beginning our August 12th PIM meeting shortly. We're giving everyone a few more minutes to log in.
Hola, buenas tardes a todos los padres. Bienvenidos a nuestra junta. Vamos a empezar ahorita. Solamente estamos esperando a que se reúnan más padres. Gracias.
Many thanks. Thank you, Ms. Parra. Muchas gracias. Let's see. There we go. Hopefully you're doing well, Hugo. Let's see. Good evening, everyone. Once again, thank you for joining us this evening for our August 12th Parent Information Meeting. We're going to be beginning shortly. We're just giving everyone a couple more minutes to log in.
Buenas tardes, padres. Gracias por estar aquí. Ahorita vamos a empezar la junta. Solamente les estamos dando unos cuantos más minutos a nuestros padres para que se puedan reunir a la junta.
Thank you very much, Ms. Parra. Truly appreciate it. Let's see. And I made you co-host, correct, Miss Ela?
Yes, you did.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay. Let's see. Good evening again, everyone. My name is Herschel Williams. Thank you for joining us for this Thursday evening, August 12th Parent Information Meeting. We will be beginning shortly, at which point we will share with you the steps to take if we wish to hear this live presentation in Spanish. Ms. Ela, did you want to?
Sure. Muy buenas tardes, padres. Gracias por atender esta junta de 12 de agosto. En un rato vamos a empezar la junta y entonces le damos instrucciones de cómo puede cambiarse a donde se puede traducir al mismo tiempo que Mr. Williams está hablando.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. As we begin, we ask, as we do at the beginning of every meeting, if you could make certain to remain muted and put any questions that you may have in the chat box. Our leadership team members will be responding to questions in the chat box throughout the presentation. But then, of course, as always, we will make sure that we stay on and respond to any questions that you may have before we close the meeting. So if we can take those steps right now, we would truly appreciate it.
Por favor, durante la junta, si puede poner preguntas que tiene en el chat, las vamos a poder contestar por el chat, o si todavía hay más preguntas, vamos a contestarlas para el final de la junta.
Let's see. Okay, I think we are ready to begin. Good evening. Wanted to officially welcome you. As I said, my name is Herschel Williams. Before we divide and turn on our interpretation tool that comes with Zoom, we wanted to welcome everyone and take an opportunity to introduce all of our team members that are joining us this evening. You've already heard our phenomenal attendance clerk, Ms. Berenice Pada. Thank you for joining us. This phenomenal AP, Assistant Principal of Academics Instruction, Ms. Zulema Ila. She will be facilitating the Spanish translation and the Spanish presentation of this parent information meeting. Our phenomenal academic as well as behavioral counselor, Ms. Moreno, known as Hugo Moreno this evening. Thank you for joining us and for being a trooper. Our phenomenal nurse Carmen, she's joining us this evening. Thank you, Nurse Carmen Molina, for joining us. In addition to all of our members, if I see your camera on and I can identify you, I definitely will give you a shout out. I see a few teachers joining us. I believe Ms. Valdez is on this evening. Thank you very much for all of our Grow Academy Arvin team for joining us this evening. Ms. Moreno, Ms. Guadalupe Moreno as well. Thank you so much for joining us this evening.
I believe Miss Beatriz is on here too.
Miss Beatriz, oh my goodness, she has a slide all to herself. So thank you for joining us, Miss Beatriz Para. Again, she's just an extraordinary teammate. Many of us wear so many hats, but here lately, Miss Beatriz has been pretty much everyone. So definitely want to acknowledge Miss Beatriz Garcia. Thank you for joining us this evening.
Estamos introduciendo varios miembros de la escuela que están aquí en la junta, empezando con el director, Mr. Williams, y también Berenice, que nos ayuda en muchos lugares, pero especialmente en asistencia. También está María Moreno, la consejera, y enfermera Carmen, que ha sido muchas las conocen muy bien también, y Beatriz, que es la coordinadora del programa de después de la escuela, pero también nos ayuda mucho en la oficina. Y también hay otros miembros de maestros y otras personas que ayudan con instrucción aquí en la junta también.
Did you want to go ahead and give the instructions on how to connect to the Spanish translation, Missy?
I'm not sure what it looks like on your end. Is it the world? If you tell me
Yes.
in English first, because I don't
Yes.
see that. Okay.
So if you see it is a icon at the bottom of your screen. It does look like El Mundo, I believe, Interpretación. If you depress that, we will begin it starting now. Let's see. And so it'll be at the bottom of your screen.
Si aplana el mundo, eso le va a decir que si quiere la traducción en español, y entonces allí también yo voy a cambiar a español y le voy a preguntar si me puede escuchar.
As soon as I can attach your name, there you go. Okay, I'm beginning it now. We'll talk to you soon, Miss Hila. Thank you.
Wait, hold, oh, there.
Okay, Miss Hila. Yeah, excellent. Thank you. And so if you could take a moment, again, if you are wishing to hear this meeting in Spanish, if you depress the actual El Mundo button, the icon, you will toggle over and you'll hear the Spanish translation, please. Excellent, thank you.
I can translate that, Mr. Williams. Padres, si gustan escuchar la junta en español, Mrs. Hila, nuestra asistente directora académica, va a estar traduciendo. So, si gustan escuchar la junta en español, ahorita pueden escoger el enlace abajo donde dice interpretación, que tiene un mundo. Pueden escoger ese enlace ahorita a mero abajo donde están las diferentes opciones como la caja de mensajes. Está uno que es un mundo y dice interpretación y pueden escoger esa y escoger Spanish o español y entonces pueden escuchar a Mrs. Hila dar la misma junta en español.
Sí. Thank you, Ms. Moreno. Impressive. Let's see. I want to give me one quick second. Okay, August 12th, it is day number, let's see, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Day number 9 of our 2022 school year. We're very excited to see our students on campus. It's been interesting having everyone back in person and experiment in getting acquainted with one another, teachers to students, students to teachers. It's remarkable to see many students who have not had to be in a classroom or have been separated from their peers for over a year. Just watching their excitement and interaction and enthusiasm, as well as their interaction with their new teachers, many of whom they met online last year, but got to actually see them in person. So it's been a remarkable 9 days thus far. What we wanted to share is from time to time, I will pause just to be in sync with our teammates and our fellow stakeholders on the Spanish translation. It does take a minute as Ms. Hila does translate in real time. So just giving her a moment to make certain that we're all on the same page. And usually she does that with a thumbs up. So this evening, we definitely want to give you as many updates as possible. We want to make sure that everyone saw our calendar for the month of August and to make certain that you are aware of the programs that we are slated to begin as early as next week, and to give you updates on information that you received perhaps at the Mutual Promise meeting, as well as just to update you with any current trends that are occurring and hopefully respond to any questions that you may have. So with regards to current updates and acknowledgements, again, want to definitely give a shout out to Ms. Beatriz Garcia and our phenomenal ACES teammates. Throughout the last 18 months during the pandemic, ACES has pushed in every capacity on campus, enabling us to continue to function with all of the additional protocols for COVID and sanitizing and maintaining separate cohorts of students and child supervision. They've done a phenomenal job. And so next week, it's just one more step toward normalcy, and that our phenomenal ACES after school program begins. This past Tuesday, which I think was 2 days ago now, Ms. Beatriz actually had an open enrollment for the ACES program. Actually, she was sharing with me today that there are still some spaces available, whereas in a typical year, there would normally be a waiting list for ACES. So we definitely wanted to make sure that everyone who is interested in enrolling their student in our after-school ACES program, that you are taking advantage of it and that you did get an opportunity to complete the enrollment process. Ms. Garcia, Ms. Beatriz, if you wanted to unmute and share out any information with regards to it. If I didn't do justice or if I missed anything, I do believe that there's still spaces available and what next steps they should take if they're interested.
Yes, we still have space for 4th through 6th grade. 7 and 8, it's full, but we still have spaces for the other students. If you want to apply, just go to the elementary office. I will be there and I will give you the applications. And yes, we still have space after school start on Monday, August 16. Just remember that the students have to complete 15 hours a week and you have to pick them up until 6. Monday through Friday.
Excellent. And it's from 3:30 to 6, I believe. It's from after school through 6 p.m. Correct, Ms. Garcia?
Yes, 3:30 to 6.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Since you're on, Ms. Garcia, we didn't put it here, but a few parents were already privately chatting, asking about not yesterday's uniform sale, but the previous one, when they could possibly expect to have that order come in. Is there any type of date approximation of when they could expect to get any uniforms that they bought at the previous sale?
If they order them yesterday, it's gonna take like 4 to 5 weeks to arrive. If they bought them on July 20, they will be here maybe next week or the following week.
Thank you, Ms. Garcia. Really, really appreciate it. I know you're probably going, thank you, Mr. Williams. I had no idea you were gonna make me unmute and talk. I'm sure I'm going to hear about this tomorrow, but she's such a phenomenal leader on campus. And so, you know, a few of our members are away right now. And so Ms. Beatriz pretty much has been running the school. So you see her every morning, every evening. She's answering phones, she's responding to questions, she's taking in applications, she's doing uniform sales, she's giving out free uniforms. She's just phenomenal. And so we really want to thank you, Ms. Beatriz. I truly appreciate all that you've done and continue to do for us. So yes, and she's the ACES coordinator. So, you know, she can definitely be the one to speak to our phenomenal ACES program. Thank you. Supper with regards to the ACES program, that's going to take place the following Monday. It's going to begin on the 23rd. It will then be that extra meal that we do serve. It is free, particularly for students that are in ACES. Ideally, we're still receiving word on what type of after-school programs we may be able to offer. Traditionally, in a non-pandemic year, we would offer, let's say, music classes, mariachi. Ms. Carmen would host mariachi classes or lessons and or we would have sports. So we're still ironing out what offerings we'll be able to host after school, but any student that's within those programs would also be able to take advantage of supper. They would just need to sign in and of course have your approval to take part in any of the after school programs prior to it beginning. So we will provide you with more information regarding after school supper as soon as possible. Within the first week of ACES, however, students are provided snacks via our cafe, and all of that, all the details with regards to the snacks and what they're going to be offered as far as nutrition, all of that is being taking place right now between, again, phenomenal Ms. Beatriz Garcia and our new executive chef, Chef Lisa Fenton. So thank you very much. Please be on the lookout for Parent Square and more information with regards to that. Patches. Our families have been asking, excuse me one second, about our grow patches. Let's see, it's difficult. No matter what I do, you won't be able to see it. There it is. I'll turn it, reverse it. Yeah, no, it'll come through. Yeah, but it says warg. Okay, so our grow patches, thank you, Ms. Eva. We do have, I believe each stakeholder is provided 2 patches for any old uniforms that you may have that say Grimway. We have now the patch, the press machine. We will have to press them on site because they do require an apparatus that's more than just your regular iron. And so we are creating a spreadsheet. We will be forwarding that out. We will be taking in your old Grimway garments and applying the patches as early as mid next week. We'll probably do it as by grade levels. You'll drop it off, we'll apply the patches, and then we'll give you a receipt, a ticket as to when you could come pick up your newly patched grow uniform shirts. So thank you for your patience with regards to that. The patches are here, you will be provided them. And so that will be kicked off next week. In addition to that, for those of you who have not picked up your free uniform shirt, we're pretty sure that the majority of our stakeholders have received their free uniform grow shirt. There is actually an order placed for new child size uniform shirts, particularly for our middle school students. Unfortunately, there was a mix-up whereby our phenomenal department that spearheads the purchase, they purchased them in adult sizes. So although some of our junior high school students can wear them, we are awaiting a bulk order of large sizes, but in kid size. So please know that that order is still, we're still awaiting that order to come in. As soon as it does arrive, we will reach out to you. We've been tracking who's been receiving their free uniform shirts, and we'll make sure that you do get one or your scholar gets them. We sometimes give it to them right then in the during the school day. So if they come home with an extra shirt, that typically means that yes, it's arrived in and that we made sure they received it. Black uniform bottoms. So thank you for your patience with regards to that. We did explain at our last mutual promise meeting that it was an error on my part. I did get ahead of the process in that we were very excited to share it. The Black uniform bottom pants is going to be officially approved at the August 30th board meeting. So anytime after that, our students will be able to wear their Black uniform pants. We do want to clarify that they're not jeans. It's still not jean material. It's the material of regular khaki pants, which is cotton. And so we definitely want to make sure that our families know that. Some students have started trying to mix them in with their khakis. If you could just be a bit more patient, we would truly appreciate it because we really want to kick it off as it's something new, like all the other new programs that we're starting this week or this school year, like our middle school program, co-teaching program, and so forth. Let's see. Infinite Campus versus Illuminate. So if you're wondering why it is that we have yet to be able to supply you maybe with your Kickboard information or your parent portal, it's because much like we are going from Grimway to Grow, we're also presently in the middle of so many we're just, what's the word I'm looking for? Not translations, but we're going from old to new. So we're going from Illuminate to Infinite Campus as our SIS system, Student Information System. It's a process that's been labor intensive. So we want to give Ms. Berenice Prada a huge shout out. She was pushing in and providing the wonderful translation at the beginning of the meeting. For families that are new, you have not, you're probably more comfortable and familiar with Infinite Campus than many of our staff is. Because you actually were enrolled right into Infinite Campus. We're in the middle of trying to make certain that both either your Grow accounts, your domain name, like your child's name, for example, Hugo would be H Moreno at growpublicschools.org versus grimwayschools.org. It's just that rollover and the process of going from an old system to a new system. It's been, like I said, a labor of love. Ideally, by this Friday, you will be seeing all the new information from Infinite Campus. That will include your Clever account, access to the curriculum, your parent portal in either Illuminate or Infinite Campus. Chances are we're going to be using both throughout the course of the school year. But if you're wondering why it is that your scholar has yet to maybe log into their Amplify Science or their CKLA curriculum like they would in a normal year through their Clever account, it's because we're in the middle of two systems right now. But I just had a meeting with the Chief Academic Officer today, Dr. Wendy Creek, and she assures us that this Friday is a hard deadline for this process to be complete. And so we definitely wanted to share with you, your scholars telling you the truth. We've been pretty much going low tech and using books and actual hard copies of curriculum, which I'm very familiar with, versus so much pushing out information these first 2 weeks of school curriculum material in class via our computer and software. So thank you for your patience, but we wanted to give you an update with regards to that transition. See, I knew it was a trans word, Maria. I just couldn't come up with it. Okay, so sorry, Miss Ela, giving you a couple seconds. Should I? Okay. Dates to remember. One of the reasons why this Friday is a hard deadline is because beginning Monday is our NWEA testing begins. It's the beginning of the year assessment that our students go through. It's where they will establish a benchmark for the rest of the year. So it's a standardized assessment that all students grades K through 8th will participate in. And so please forgive me, this Fly and I are having a good time. That will begin next week. If you could do us a favor and just remind your scholars to do the best that they can. One of the reasons that we were excited about coming on site is because we did receive the preliminary scores from our standardized state test from last year. And it did show that there was significant learning loss in comparison to a normal school year. So we're very anxious to get our students to close that gap, the achievement gap from last year to this year. But it definitely starts with an authentic benchmark. Through NWEA testing, you'll receive the results and the students will know how much they're expected to grow throughout the remainder of the year based upon the benchmarks that they receive from taking next week's test. So testing will be throughout next week. If you can make sure your scholars get to bed early, that they try to stay as focused as possible. Don't give up, stay resilient, which is one of our STAR values. We would truly appreciate it. Let's see, next Thursday, in fact, a week from today, is our school pictures. This will be our life touch pictures. So you will be receiving information with regards to how to purchase the pictures. That information will be forwarded to you. To be quite honest with you, we will be looking into it and hopefully providing some more information via Parent Square this Sunday when we send out our message. And I think someone is unmuted, Ms. Moreno. I don't know if you're able to identify who that may be. we will definitely let you know. However, if you can make sure your scholar is in their uniform shirt, we would truly appreciate it, as well as just uniform in general. And usually on that day, students come looking just a little extra nice, even though they come looking extra nice every day. Next Thursday is picture day. That's where they'll get their student IDs will come from it, as well as I believe their meal card, things of this nature. So definitely want to make sure as many students as possible are in attendance on Thursday, August 19th. Tuesday, August 24th, we are going to have our virtual back to school night. A few parents during dismissal and during morning entrance ask, when will it be? So it will kick off the week of the 24th. As of now, it definitely will be virtual like we rolled out last year, but it'll be all of your scholars, teachers, either grade level or department, hosting individual Zooms where you'll have a chance to interact with them. They'll introduce themselves, share information about their class, the rules, the expectations, and then hopefully get a little information from you. If we can host it on site by then by all means, we would much rather host in person. And so we will let you know well in advance if that changes from virtual to on site. Either way, you will be forwarded either the Zoom link or your actual on site appointment time. Sending interest forms. So this time of school year, we host our elections. First, we send out interest form for all of our school-wide committees and groups. And so we have 3 that we utilize each year to inform us as to the wishes of a particular demographic within our school population, or give us feedback with regards to looking at data as it is compared to our LCAP and where we are targeting money. And so these committees are as follows: the ELAC committee, which I believe stands for English Language Committee. Miss Moreno, I'm almost certain that that's the acronym. School site council will also be convening, and/or we will be sending out interest forms. They will be hard copies. We ask that you fill them out and send them back to us. And then, of course, our phenomenal star parents of Grow Academy, our SPGA. And so we will mail out hard copies to you, send hard copies to you through your wonderful scholars. And if you're interested, we will ask you to fill out a form so that we can reach out to you. And then usually we give you a week and a half or so to return the form. And by our next, hopefully virtual meeting at the latest, we will host elections for these various committees and hopefully get as much participation, as many parents that want to be involved as possible. So if you could be considering that, we would truly appreciate it. I don't know if our phenomenal president is on, Matt Look, for the Star Parents of Grow Academy. If you are Mr. Look and you want to go ahead and unmute and add any additional word or two, by all means, please feel free. Let's see. Or any member of the current SPGA, if you want to unmute and just share out any type of message, by all means, wanted to give you an opportunity to share out. For those that aren't familiar, they were giving out shirts on the July, I think it was the Friday, when we had our meet and greet on site. Parents were coming and picking up the schools, their student schedules. They were hosting a table where they were giving out free swag gear that students are allowed to wear on Fridays. They're probably going to set up, or we're going to host a table for them during entrance or exit, where we're giving out a shirt if you sign up, just saying that you're interested and receiving more information to join any one of our committees. And so you'll definitely see and hear more about that over the next few days. There was one more item, let's see, attendance. Ms. Pata, I don't know if you're still on. Since I surprised Ms. Beatriz, I might as well ask you, is there anything you wanted to share out or wanted me to share out with regards to attendance, calling in, making sure that you notify us, anything along those lines?
Yes, only that. Just if the parents can please continue to notify us or Nurse Carmen, if their students are out sick or they have a medical visit, dental, whichever it is, we will require for you to present a medical note. There is, they can call me or the office so they can clear the student's absence, but they can also definitely send me a message using Parent Square.
Excellent. And that's for any absence, in addition to if they're out sick, if it's something, or is it that those are the excused absences?
Yes, whatever the reason is that the student is absent from school, just please, as long as the parents call it in, that way we can clear their absence and they don't receive an unexcused absence.
Excellent. Thank you, Ms. Potter. Truly appreciate it. There was some information sent out. We will be hosting 8th grade meetings sometime next week so that we can share with parents the responsibilities of our 8th grade students, if not middle school students altogether, so that they can get an early start on hopefully making this a successful year. They started off well, but we want to make sure that they understand some of the requirements as far as 8th grade promotion is concerned, in addition to hopefully, fingers crossed, any of the 8th grade trips. So right now, as it stands, it looks like there may be an opportunity to have their 8th grade annual trip take place. At least those that we contract through seem to think that it's going to occur. As all things during a pandemic, of course, COVID is going to have a lot to say about that. Hopefully the numbers will be down and we'll be able to take part in that, as well as Magic Mountain, grad night, things of that nature. Parents have been asking about sports. Again, that falls into any after school opportunities that we may have. It does rely upon what we are able to do as it pertains to the most current CDPH guidelines and or any messages that are given to us by our authorizers. So if you can continue to stay patient with us, we truly appreciate it. We know that everyone is anxious to move past this. Clearly, based upon a letter we had to send last night, we're not past it. We're still in the middle of a pandemic, but we are trying to continue to stay on a path of normalcy, not go backward. And so thank you for those of you that have been calling and really assisting us in our protocols. We want to review our health and safety protocols really quickly once again. Strict adherence to CDPH guidance, at home daily screenings prior to sending your scholar to school. Face covering must be worn indoors. There seem to be just some question marks with regards to families when they're on site. We do require face coverings when you come to pick up your scholars. So parents, when you're on site, we are still requiring face coverings, even though it's outdoors. Just trying to take that extra precaution. Again, this is primarily parents on site. Students, we met with them yesterday, meeting with them again. Outdoors, there is flexibility with mask. However, just really stressing to the students that when you're outdoors, if your mask is off, then please try to exercise safe distancing, such as minimum 3 feet, optimal more than 6 feet. And so we have a team of adults that are outside trying to echo that message on a day in, day out basis. And so if you could help us make certain that your scholars are mindful of that, we would truly appreciate it. Believe it or not, it's our junior high school students that we have to remind from time to time. Our younger students usually tell us, you're not 6 feet away. And that's a testament to the phenomenal job that it starts in kinder, our wonderful kinder teams, first grade, second grade, they do a phenomenal job really stressing adherence to the protocols that are going to keep us all safe. Let's see, classrooms will be restored to their pre-COVID configurations, enhanced ventilation protocols, hand washing stations. When you kind of pick up or drop off your scholar, as you see, they're still located throughout the campus. Meal service resuming in the cafe to include pre-COVID menu entrees. We do still have protocols in place, meaning the salad bar is served to the students. We're not completely pre-COVID again. And so it is something that we're still facilitating. And again, letting students know that outside eating is available. Those are extra steps that we're going to be implementing over these next few weeks, coming up with a plan whereby we are trying to maximize spacing, still giving students an opportunity to eat indoors, students, staff, adults alike, but also rotating in outdoor eating so that we can, again, remain as safe as possible and on a path to normalcy. We still insist upon thermal scanners upon entry, so temperature taking as well, and then frequent cleaning and disinfecting of all classroom and facilities. And so we definitely are continuing to insist upon these protocols and always taking a step back, looking at the data and making adjustments as necessary, just as we would if we were actually instructing in a classroom. And so we did share out just some new protocols and or some new safety steps that we're going to be putting in place just to facilitate, again, us staying on a path of being safe while still trying to give our students, our teachers, our staff some opportunities to mitigate learning loss and keep our students on site in the classroom. Let's see. With that, that's I believe, and I'm trying to find, let's go ahead and start. See where my teammate is. Miss Ela, are you? Excellent, excellent. I know Ms. Moreno has been, and all of our teammates, Nurse Carmen, thank you, Ms. Perez, for joining us, our wonderful interventions coordinator. On that, Ms. Perez just made me think of something. With regards to mitigating learning loss, some of your students may have come home and mentioned that they're receiving targeted one-on-one assistance. It is something that we were able to implement this year through ERSA funds in an effort to mitigate learning loss, to lessen the gap of how far our students may have not grown due to the pandemic. And so we brought back a wonderful school psychologist who we split between both campuses, Miss Amy Knoll, if not Dr. Amy Knoll, I don't know offhand, have to confirm that, but she has been a longstanding member of the organization. She's going to be pushing in and assisting. Many of you have already contacted her. She's contacted you to provide additional academic support to students, as well as additional social, emotional, and mindful mental health wellness support. So additional counseling, things of this nature. And so we will, she has reached out to families, and we, through our phenomenal counselor, Ms. Moreno, has sent home letters reminding families that they feel that their scholars may be in need of additional one-on-one counseling due to any of the negative impacts of existing within a pandemic over the last 18 months or so. Please reach out to Ms. Moreno, and or if we see need on site, we will reach out directly to you as well. So definitely wanted to make everyone aware of that. And with that, definitely going to check the chat box to see, not sure if you were talking, got it.
I kind of answered just the first question. The rest of them were kind of, I was waiting. But somebody was asking about the PE uniforms for the middle school students.
Oh,
and what
thank
the
you.
rules are for the kids changing during PE.
So that's a great question. In fact, the students asked me about it today. One of the transitions is that we have construction occurring on site. We are converting our LC, and I know most of you know this, but our old learning commons where the library used to be, that's an enclosed, that's going to be enclosing 4 self-contained classrooms that will allow us to expand within the space and the restraints of the space that we have on site. The girls and boys locker room is connected to the learning commons. So lately, students have been changing in the individual bathrooms where they can go in and change. Most students will, for the boys, they'll wear some shorts or something underneath their uniforms. They will go into a bathroom stall and just make sure that their uniform pants are on, and then go back into the bathroom and change either in the individual stall or within the restroom. Ideally, fingers crossed, we will pass with flying colors our final building inspection and be able to open those rooms. I know our teachers will be ecstatic, our students will be ecstatic, but that will also free up the girls and boys locker rooms. At which point there are lockers. Students will have time to go and literally change clothes before and after PE. And then we will also send out information regarding uniform, our PE uniforms, the requirements of them. I'm pretty sure our coaches did share. Typically, it's a t-shirt that's a solid color, as well as shorts that are, mirror our uniform color or solid black, green, things of that particular nature for now. But we will definitely share out more information once students officially are able to change in and out of uniforms, because the locker rooms will be available. But we do have them. They're just, it's cordoned off right now, just due to safety reasons, because we have construction occurring. Let's see. Students are not allowed to bring, okay, sorry.
I think the next question was if you can clarify student release times again. It said in the previous meeting, we were told the walkers would be released at 3:40, which is 5 minutes before the pickups, but however, the students have been getting released by 3:30 or 3:35.
Thank you. Thank you for putting the question in the chat box. I hope this is the parent who sent the email via, or the message via Parent Square. I apologize, I didn't get a chance to respond. What we discovered is that there was, with bringing over 200 families back on site, dismissal that first week, if we started it at the exact time that we normally would, it was not safe in my estimation. There were too many parents that were either trying to crowd in a small space, and when I say not safe, I'm speaking in terms of the pandemic. It was very difficult to see to it that we maintain some type of social distancing. And so we were then challenged and charged with staggering our release time so that those that are picked up, typically that starts precisely at 3:40, so that the parents that are out front are able to be spaced out, as well as any type of traffic outside. It just made it much more safe, because we realized that parents, just not being used to our exiting and entrance procedures, were cutting across the street. They were calling kids across the street. Through traffic, it was just something that we didn't want to continue to take the risk on. And so we did look at our options, and we realized that if we stagger our times, typically students do get out within 3 to 5 minutes of 3:40. If your concern was a walker that you wanted to be here to pick up by 3:40, and they were already maybe on the sidewalk outside the gate, those students don't have to walk out the gate. We just ask them to, what we do now is we tell our middle school walkers, if they're picking up younger siblings, we let them leave class at 3:30 to pick up their younger siblings on the elementary school side. Then we ask them to head back to the middle school and walk out the soccer field gate to minimize the traffic in front of our elementary school dismissal gates. There are students who will say, I'm not supposed to walk out the gate until my parents are here. That's fine. So they'll just hang out on our soccer field till they see their parents. And so please, if you have walkers and they feel like we're forcing them out the gate, by all means, no. We have students who are like, no, I'm not leaving. And we just sit them aside and we'll host them until you are able to arrive. But thank you for raising that. I apologize. I sent out a message saying that we are continuing to work on evolving and modifying our procedures, but I didn't specify what that meant in terms of time. And so please forgive me, but it seems to be a pretty good balance right now. Hopefully that answer the question. And again, I'm sorry I didn't get a chance to reply to your parent square, but that concern was forwarded to us again by our CMO. So thank you. Not only that, may I also add the heat wave. It was taking too long to, normally we would open the gate at 3:40 and parents would walk in. And when we realized that we still can't do that, that's what precipitated the need for change, made us come up with a different plan. So thank you. Let's see. What also do you think?
Somebody was just saying, we have a couple COVID questions, but I'll get to those in a minute. But somebody was saying, thank you for creating the monthly calendar. They really appreciate it. And then somebody was asking if you can repeat the information about the 8th grade trips because they missed it. And then we have a couple COVID questions.
Excellent. And, you know, I know you're being a trooper, so thank you. But with the 8th grade trip, I was just sharing that we will be having an official 8th grade meeting because there are requirements that we hold our 8th graders to. Actually, this year, because we went to middle school, 6th, 7th, and 8th grade all have purple shirts. So on the elementary school side of campus, it's grades K through 5. There is our basketball area, quad area that separates our middle school students, which is 6th, 7th, and 8th this year. All 3 of those grade levels will have requirements to complete, and that will hopefully culminate in them walking across the stage in 8th grade. In a normal year, they would also be receiving, if they met not only the requirements to promote, they would also, that would ensure that they guaranteed their Magic Mountain trip to grad night, their annual 8th grade trip that our phenomenal counselor, Miss Maria Moreno, organizes. And so what I was sharing is we will have a meeting with regards to that. We've met with the students and told them that they will be receiving more information about it. And so just wanted to share out with regards to that. Ideally, we'd like to be able to guarantee that right now, but this is a day and age where there are no guarantees. And so we're just fingers crossed going to be able to make that happen this year in the safest way possible. In fact, Ms. Moreno and I just had a meeting about the Washington, D.C. trip this Tuesday. The people who we contract with are, you know, really anxious to get us to secure some dates. However, our other phenomenal teammate, Ms. Ela, happened to be a Grimway parent the year that we had to cancel the trip due to COVID. And unfortunately, I don't think those parents received their $350 down payment. And so we want to make absolutely sure that we're on a path so that whatever monies are put up for the 8th grade trip, they're not, you know, in vain. Okay, let's see. 3:30, 3:35.
Okay, so somebody now was asking a COVID related question. Her question is, she was wondering why students can't remain in one classroom without having to be switching classes, where other students could have contaminated. Even though it has been wiped down and disinfected, in my opinion, I believe it was better when teachers were switching. Well, she just believes it was better when teachers were switching.
Copy that. This first week of school, I just want to share that many of your concerns we've already echoed. Our organization has already echoed. We have a phenomenal CMO team who are in weekly meetings with the CDPH, with Kern County Health Department, with the state, who are constantly giving updates based upon weekly, if not daily, data with regards to this unfortunate pandemic. And so I know it seems like having the students in one cohort made more sense, but the most recent data, and all decisions are based upon the medical data, the scientific data, shows that it wasn't the actual hand contact, the physical contact. It's more the particles. It's more the emphasis on the mask, the emphasis on social distancing. And so it's balancing the mental health of our students, the social emotional health of our students. And what data is also showing is the restraints of being here, yet not being able to cross a yellow line and actually hang out with your friend. It has taken a toll on this generation. And so we're trying to continue, as I said, to move toward normalcy in the safest manner possible, but also in a manner that allows our students the ability to be able to maintain some type of mental health, social emotional health. And so it did show, studies did show students, because if you stop and think about it, the kids did stay in one classroom, but the teachers rotated in. And so now they're still in the same cohort. We don't intermingle them. They just travel as a group of 30 together. And it's 12 eggs in one basket versus a dozen in another. That wasn't so much to show evidence. It wasn't evidence to be any major indicator of mass infection or transmission. So we do take all of your concerns, and we do have weekly COVID task force meetings. Had one yesterday. Actually, we had 3 this week, where we bring in experts, where we are in contact again with the medical community in the county and the state. And so if we see that in the slightest way that does make a difference, then we will revert in a heartbeat. Please be confident in knowing that. Let's see, I don't know, students allowed.
I think same parent was saying that she feels that she had seen some parents on campus without a face mask and not social distancing. And then we had another person that was asking, why can't students have lunch in the cafe a little bit more apart from one another, since it's when they are without a mask and there's not much ventilation, or maybe continue with lunch outside.
Excellent comment. So to take the last one first, since can you give me the first one again? The parents. I don't know that they're parents. So what staff and students on site, once the school day begins, there is flexibility. The most current CDPH guidelines, and we'll try to put the link again in the chat box, and we share them typically weekly, so you can download them and see what we're being governed by. It does give more freedoms of wearing masks while outside. Even if it didn't, because of the heat, even though we took steps to buy huge cooling stations, swamp coolers that students have, we have placed throughout campus. We were even, stressing to the students, please, if you feel you're getting lightheaded or you can't catch your breath, please remove your mask. And so I wouldn't know that they were parents. We have staff that are parents, but when they're on site within the campus during the school day, there is more flexibility with regards to having their mask off. Most of our students and staff don't. But that is something that is allowed under the current guidelines that govern us. With regards to the cafe, I think that's an excellent point. Please note, typically, with regards to the ventilation, we do have the highest rated filters in our ventilation system, MERV 13. That's in our air conditioned units throughout the school, in addition to I don't know what we would call them, air purifiers. There are 2 within the cafe, where one, and the cost of them, just know they are the highest quality, and they are slated to be able to purify the air in the entire cafe. We have 2 of them stationed in there, and we keep the doors open even as much as possible so that there's air ventilation. We did share with our stakeholders that some of the most current protocols we're going to put in place is to try to make certain that we are maximizing the space between students. And so they will be receiving, you'll probably be hearing about them saying, hey, you know, whereas I had a choice as to what eating outside, they will be rotating so that we can maximize the space of all of our students. So ideally, we can get to the minimum 3 feet threshold to make certain that there is more space that's being maximized. So I think that's a great suggestion. It's something we had determined to do. We're rolling out that plan at the latest on Monday. We've already started implementing it. And so, yes, that is something that we're going to be doing. I don't know if I missed a part of that question, Ms. Moreno.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. I'm at 554.
Okay.
Somebody is asking, will 6th grade be going to Camp Keep this year? And is 6 required community service hours? And will sports be offered?
I'm going to say yes on the community service hours. We were all saying sports are going to be offered in one capacity or another. When we say sports, in our non-pandemic year, we were able to make a partnership with Bear Mountain League. It's a farm league where our students had the authentic experience of competing against other schools. And they ranged from, oh my goodness, we drove to Fraser Park to Hatchapee, other, outlying school districts. I think one was in Isabella. So when we say sports, we actually mean competitive, league sports. We offered volleyball, softball, basketball, girls and boys, with the exception of volleyball, track and field. And that's where we hope we get back to. There was a Zoom meeting with our CEO, Mr. Casey Yezel, yesterday that again just reiterated that we are the ultimate decision maker, unfortunately, right now is COVID. And particularly this variant. And so whatever we pursue, we want to be able to say with certainty that it is as safe as possible. So sports is a yes, assuming that we are able to due to the pandemic. Community service hours, 6th graders, yes. Camp Keep, we've already paid for Camp Keep for this year. And we know that because it's a nice little price tag. So we had a debate about it over the summer. It was virtual last year. Ideally, we'll be able to actually go to it again, but it's something that we can't say with 100% certainty unless these numbers start changing and we change the direction of the pandemic. Ideally, that'll happen, and we'll be able to take that trip in person. If not, it'll be virtual. And the kids did have fun virtually.
The good thing is that our Camp Keep trip is actually slated to happen at the end of the school year, and in contrast to the fall. So
right.
hopefully by then, we can only pray that things are a lot better. So.
And something we haven't spoke about, I agree, is wind wolves for 4th grade, I believe. Hopefully that will be able to take place again this year as well. These things are out in the open, and outside tends to be, according to all data, something that they're stressing and ventilated as much as possible. So hopefully wind wolves can't keep all of the above. Let's see, the most important safety.
Okay, so 556, Blanca says, quick question on COVID related. If cases start rising, will they be closing the schools and going back to virtual classes?
I can't, we're, believe it or not, our families usually call us and tell us when news breaks, such as anything the governor may do or the state may do. We find out about it oftentimes through you in real time with you. So we can't say right now. I think schools across the country are steadfast on, staying open, staying in person. But again, we didn't think we would be here. And then next thing you know, there's a variant. And so as much as we would want to give you certain responses, answers with 100% certainty, we're at the unfortunate mercy of the pandemic. And so, trying to encourage, and that was one of the student assemblies we had, trying to encourage them to stay healthy, to, think about your actions. Try to keep 6 feet when your mask is off. Try to keep your mask on as much as possible, and things of that nature. As soon as we know of a change, we will definitely let it know, make you aware at the earliest possible moment. But as of now, we're still in person and hopefully going to be open throughout the rest of the year for the sake of our students, for the sake of their learning, and closing the gap that we clearly see right now as far as academic success is concerned. Are kids exposed to, okay, so if kids are exposed to someone getting COVID tested, what do we do? Do we keep them at home? Is our phenomenal, I see her logo there, Nurse Carmen, did you want to go ahead and respond to, if you're not on a separate task force right now, if kids are exposed to someone getting COVID tested, what do we do? Keep them at home. So I know the short answer to that is yes. If you have a question mark about your child having a COVID-related illness, do please keep them at home. Notify the school, contact Nurse Carmen. You can call the school and we will get you in touch with Nurse Carmen, and she will contact you as soon as she can with further information regarding what next steps should be taken. That's the short answer of it. And the adults do the same. If we wake up and we're in our morning screening at home, if we are exhibiting any type of COVID-related symptoms, let's see, fever, I want to say lack of taste or smell. What am I missing, Nurse Carmen? Body aches, diarrhea, things of this nature, and there's a list that we shared out, then please keep them at home and contact the school.
Good afternoon, parents. Mr. Williams, you were right on it. So if you are, anybody in your household is pending for test results, we ask that you give us a call and let us know the situation. Your student will be excused. Again, same thing, if your student is experiencing any of these symptoms, we ask that you call our attendants. I believe Miss Bernice put the attendance phone number on the chat. You call attendance and I will follow up with you. If I don't get back to you at the end of the day, don't worry, I will call you the next day. Your student is still going to be excused 24 hours or for up to 48, depending on the symptoms and the severity of the case. If it's an exposure and your family is pending on test results, yes, your student will stay home, remain home until you get those results.
Thank you, Nurse Carmen. I was looking at, let's see, the 601, Miss Yanira. I completely understand your point of view. She just mentioned that, let's see, she thinks right now the most important thing is safety rather than anything else, because even though it's the same group of students switching, it puts them at risk from being switched into other classes where no one knows if someone in that period was positive. Because if that was more safe, then the teacher switching classes, students and teachers wouldn't have tested positive. The very first time and I think the date was March 20th of 2019, we found out about our first positive case. So students had already been dismissed. The governor closed the state down. Friday was a March 13th. The following Wednesday, it was 2 weeks, I think, before spring break. And so I want to say, I know that Wednesday because I had to go tell parents the 8th grade trip was canceled. It didn't go well, but let's see. So it had to be the 17th or 18th. The following week, we were still doing either cohorts or we were on site, and we were required to get screened. Before we came in, Nurse Carmen was doing her due diligence. All the members of our on-site COVID task force, Ms. Jennings, Ms. Beatrice, Ms. Pata, Ms. Moreno, everyone had a clipboard, and we were going through the questions. Do you have like a taste, smell, every day? And we walked them through our thermometer scanning unit, and we were like, okay, we're doing great. And then lo and behold, we were taking, I think, just random tests. We got a call that someone who we were talking to laughing with, one of our fellow teammates was positive. And at that point, it was just the reality of the situation kicked in, that literally individuals can be walking around feeling perfectly normal, not exhibiting not one COVID-related indicators, fever, body aches, lack of taste or smell. And we have no idea. And so I understand what you're saying with regards to they might be in a classroom with students or in a room where someone was positive and not know anything about it, but they're interacting with these same students out on the yard, in their PE classes, or in their recesses, or in their breaks, and or in public. And it can be very nerve-wracking. It can keep you up at nights, because we constantly go, how do we miss that? What could we have done better? And so it really was, okay, we just then have to really echo the importance of safety. Keep your safe distance. Keep your mask on as much as possible. If you are feeling ill, it's okay to stay home. And for the families of students that are worried that, okay, what if my child falls behind? We have a plan whereby we can provide schoolwork, classwork, so your child at home can keep up with their studies. And so it isn't something that we are on separate sides of the fence about. We are all saying that safety of our scholars is first and foremost above all else. What we're saying is that it's a pandemic and a disease or an infection, unfortunately, that it's very tricky to determine. And so we had a year whereby we've done studies, we've looked at the data, we have a whole a team of individuals that all they do is keep up with the most recent medical data, stay in contact with the CDPH, stay in contact with Kern Health Department, stay in contact with the state, and just are on meetings all day on what's the trend, what's looking at it. They're in a collaboration with other leaders of school districts to try to front load information. This is what we saw on this campus. What did you see on your campus? How are you managing this and that? And so I can't stress enough that I'm not arguing your point. I think you raise an excellent point. I just know that in our year and a half of dealing with this, the changing of the students wasn't a major indicator. The science doesn't show that was a major indicator. Touch, in fact, it wasn't as much an indicator as all of the other variables. And so I will take this to the COVID team, and we will, if we have to, we are always going to make the best decision. And if we have to change course, we will. Nothing is set in stone. This last weekend made us take a step back and go, okay, well, now we're going to do this, this, and this. And I spoke on that earlier, spacing our students out, rotating kids in the cafe, and or when they are eating at any given point. Making sure there's more spaces available outside for students to eat, and making sure that our teachers are reaching out to you and that your wishes as parents are being adhered to. If you say, I don't want my child eating in the cafe, or if you're having a snack in class, I want my child to be outside. Our teachers are definitely, and then they relay that message to us. They're definitely sharing that message with us. So, and we adhere to it. We will go pull the student and just, make sure that they are mindful of staying safe. I hope that response just gave you the slightest indication of how sincere we are. It is something that we're grappling with ourselves. What do we do? What don't we do? What type of difference is that going to make? And so we do truly appreciate your comment. I will raise it to the organization-wide COVID team. We are going off of the data, just like a teacher would. And so if what we're doing isn't working, if we don't see an immediate change, then there is flexibility, and we will start slowly but surely taking a step either backward or sideways and trying something new. If students are to stay home because of COVID, are they going to be able to do classes online? Classes online won't necessarily occur, but there will be a means of, to my knowledge, at this point. But again, they will receive, just as we would have students out for, if it was the common flu, for a week at a time. You know, our main concern is that the student is getting healthy, but we will provide work and opportunity for the student to keep up and or catch up, provide additional services and opportunities to catch them up when they do return on site. If a child, let's see, if a child is not feeling well and stays home, when is a covered test required? Oh, COVID test. That's a great question. Let's see, is our phenomenal Dr. Carmen Molina still on? Regarding the COVID test required if they stay home when they feel sick. And to be honest, ladies and gentlemen, she's across the hall from me. She's probably on a call, just making sure that any absences we had today is your normal allergies. You know, they're shaking the almonds, or just making sure that anyone who called in sick today, it was just a regular seasonal illness. And so I'm sure she'll jump back on in regards to being able to respond to that response. And
I'm here,
she's not
Mr.
calling.
Was
Okay,
regards and when we require a COVID test for students?
Yeah, it says, yes, let me read it. I lost it. If a child is not feeling well and stays home, when is a COVID test required?
So what we're doing is we're going off the symptoms, and if the symptoms happen to fall within the COVID symptoms, we are requiring students to get tested. In order for them to return to school, they do need to have a clearance from the doctor. And what is happening right now with the cases rising, the doctor will make the decision. And if the majority of the time, most of the students are getting tested. So it's all up to the medical provider.
And it's not just students. If staff
Yeah.
have to call in, or, you know, we have requirements for our staff so that we're staying as healthy as possible as well.
It's a
If I'm
for
being, go ahead, I'm sorry.
It's for sure that if your student does have a fever, we will require you to submit proof of student getting a test. And that is, that's for sure for a COVID test, in order for them to return on premises.
If it continues to get worse, will distance learning be offered? I think that is, again, it's, as of now, all indication is trying to remain open. But again, I can't say. Those decisions are made usually at a state or federal level. But we will adhere to whatever the CDPH guidance is. And so I can't answer that with 100% certainty because we're at the mercy of COVID. I'd like to have a positive outlook that it is not going to get worse, and so that we can continue to hopefully move toward normalcy. But again, as I explained to the other parent who was stating a wonderful thought and shedding light on the whole concept of kids rotating versus staying in one location, we're not set in cement. You know, just like any good educator like you as parents, if we see something, if the data is showing us what we're doing isn't working, then we did meet just this week with our CEO, with the home office, and the phenomenal executive team, with the task force, and you know, made the determination that, hey, we need to try this, this, and this. So we are always looking at the data and making adjustments accordingly. One of the adjustments that is not being considered right now, however, is going back to distance learning. It just proved to be the preliminary results for the state tests that we took are coming back in, and literally there was a 50% drop in the success rate, academic success rate of our students. You'll probably be receiving that information officially soon. But, you know, and these are, and we get it. Safety is first and foremost, but we are looking at the long term and what does that mean with regards to this generation and versus the students who were on site and how they were able to perform academically. And so distance learning isn't part of the conversation, if I'm being honest. But again, we'll keep you informed. Let's see. Thank you. And I'm sorry for the families that are still on, anything that we were going to share out with regards to the school meeting. You know, we've already shared. We'll try to have something where we're meeting via Zoom and hopefully in person soon, minimum once every other week. I think our next opportunity to meet is slated to be a coffee and conversation. It's something we used to hold on site. It's something we'll do virtually where we'll meet in the morning and, you know, hopefully share out and updates and get feedback from you and hopefully talk about those that are interested in joining the school site council or the star parents of Grow Academy or the ELAC committee. So if you wanted to, you know, just log off for the evening, thank you for your patience. Please know we are seeing what the trend is and we're taking steps to curtail any negative trend. And thank you for your support, your suggestions, for helping us with the protocols. We thank you. I want to say have a good evening. Everyone else will stay on if you wanted to take part in the discussion and or hear the responses and what the questions are that individuals are raising, then by all means hang on and we'll get through these as quickly as possible. Thank you, staff, for the great first go, Luis. The return to normalcy has been immensely positive for the mental health and overall well-being of my scholars. I had not realized how vital their social interactions were. I, for one, welcome, let's see, all aspects of a normal school year with safety in mind. Again, thank you so much for the message. We do appreciate your feedback. Let's see, and I lost my place, Ms. Moreno. I'm trying to toggle. Oh, wow.
We are at 6:11. Somebody asked if one sibling is not feeling well and the others are fine, can the one that is good go to school?
That's an excellent question. Look, I'm pausing for Dr. Molina. I would probably say in my layman terms, we would ask you to maybe keep everyone at home that initial day. But again, I'm not the specialist in this area. Nurse Carmen, what would you say?
Mr. Williams. So we would ask for you to, of course, give us a call in the morning, depending on the severity, but we are asking you guys to call. If one of your students is sick, keep them at home until I give you that call. We will get back to you on regards to the other students. It's just, every situation is different. And it all just depends on the symptoms of what you're reporting and what's going on. Every case is different, so every case gets handled in a different manner. So we just ask you guys to be patient, give us a call in the morning, especially being that Miss Bernice and everybody out is out helping during check-in. But we do start receiving calls and we do call back. I'm in the office and I will give you a call back. But to be on the safe side for your child, their peers and staff, we ask that you remain your student at home until we give you a call back.
Thank you, Nurse Carmen. I know she was pausing and having me respond first. It was a quiz to see if I would get the answer right. So thank you. And, you know, we were responding to a few families today. I can't stress enough how much Dr. Molina is what I call her. She's kept us safe for, I would say, well over a decade now. But in this time, you know, I think I did, you know, reluctantly say, Nurse Carmen, we have to call it an evening, probably at about 9 p.m. last night, because that's how dedicated she is to reach every family. Again, with our other teammates, Ms. Pata, Ms. Beatriz, Ms. Moreno, Ms. Ela, Ms. Jennings, Ms. Victoria, who's pushing in for staff. Just thank you. Please know we take it very seriously, but definitely want to give Ms. Molina a shout out in that she's got one ear to what the county, the state is saying medically on a task force this way, while trying to give that personalized attention to each and every one of our scholars, each and every one of our families, because we're back in school. And it's like, it's like a reality check, like, oh, wow, we forgot about students playing on the field and what happens when, and, okay. So it's definitely been an interesting couple of weeks, but could not have been as successful without Dr. Molina, just in her vigilance, and Ms. Pata, ensuring that we reach out to every family each day. So thank you. I definitely wanted to give them a shout out. Thank you, Ms. Beatriz. I think we're on, okay. Do you have are you gonna give me where am I going, Ms. Moreno?
Yes, so we're at 6:15, and it just says, I just want to take a moment and thank all Grow Academy staff. I know we are in difficult times, but I can see how hard you guys are working to keep our students safe.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate it. Thank you for helping us. We appreciate it. Los niños que se asisten.
Yeah, so she's saying that the students that are absent and waiting for COVID test results, she's saying that she thinks that they're going to maybe, miss school and get behind. So what can we do so that they are up to date in their classes?
You can contact the school. We can give you, well, first and foremost, these first couple of weeks, they're not behind. Only because of what we shared out earlier. Still in transition. I can't believe I couldn't think of transition earlier. Still in transition from Illuminate to Infinite Campus and getting our curriculum up and running. So it's been a lot of social emotional help, a lot of team building activities. And so please know in these first couple of weeks, it's just getting students acclimated to school again, to social norms and so forth. If they look like they're going to be out for an extended period of time, we were actually providing packets, which come with explanation and are interactive, so that students can continue to see where we're going, whether teachers, what information is being shared in the classroom. And so that, and then finally, when they return, we do have, like I said, we did add additional staff on our team this year to hopefully work in one-on-one capacity and purchase certain programs that will allow students to catch up. And we will discover the pocket of times. We have a personalized learning block where if students fell behind, they'll have an opportunity to catch up. And so we definitely have a plan in place, but if you give us a call just in the morning, we could have a packet ready for you by the afternoon, or let you know when you could come pick it up. And I'm sorry, that question was in Spanish. Should we jump off the translation and become one cohort, Ms. Ela?
Pienso que para contestarle la pregunta que preguntó la señora sobre si los niños están esperando pruebas de el examen COVID, piensa que tal vez se van a atrasar en sus clases. So Mr. Williams dice que definitivamente puede llamar a la escuela y podemos hacerle un paquete de tarea para los estudiantes. Y dice que también ahorita acabamos de empezar, so ojalá que no se atrasen tanto. Pero sí sabemos que es muy importante, si los van a dejar en casa, que no pierdan ese estudio. So es por eso que estamos tratando de hacer paquetes para ellos, para que se los lleven a la casa. Okay, so Mary Cruz is asking, just to be sure the kids can wear black bottoms, right? And yes, thank you, Grow staff, for making the first week a success for my kids. They are so happy to be back and ready to learn.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. You said the black bottoms, they're asking, can they wear them now? I would say wait until the 30th, please. If you can wait, it's just a couple of Mondays. You know, if we could just stick with the khakis again, they will be able to wear them eventually. If they can, we'll try to come up with, you know, a free dress Friday. We'll make them a deal. If they can wait until, you know, the 30th, we'll try to push out a free dress before the 30th where they can just be in their normal clothes. If they can wait until the 30th or the 30, is there 31 days in August? Probably September 1st.
So I think that, yeah, September 1st. No, September, there's a 31st. So.
Oh, so August 31st is a Tuesday. It gets approved on the 30th board meeting officially. So if you could, we truly appreciate it. Thank you. And the other thing that's going to be approved overall is any updates we're making to our student handbook, because some of our students, we have a uniform policy to begin with. And we know we have teenagers on campus, so we're already dealing with the, oh, you know, everything was dirty or I lost it. That's why I'm in my holy jeans and, you know, my newest, you know, attire that I would wear to Magic Mountain. And we're like, no, good try. School's in session. Here's a shirt, you know, and so forth. So there's always a standard. Jeans not allowed, except on free dress day, things of that nature. So definitely want to echo that, and you'll get more information with regards to it. Ela, are you with us?
So Mr. Williams está diciendo sobre
think
los
so.
pantalones
Oh, yeah.
ochores negros. Solamente está diciendo que sabemos que hubo un poco de confusión sobre los pantalones negros, ochores negros o faldas negras, pero el 30 de agosto vamos a tener una junta de la mesa directiva y es donde van a aprobar el cambio a nuestra, la modificación a nuestra vestimenta. So, si se pueden esperar hasta después del 30 de agosto, empezando el 31 de agosto, van a poder usar los colores negros. So, Mr. Williams dice que si hacemos un trato, tal vez dejamos que los niños se pongan un día de vestimenta gratis, donde usan su ropa que prefieren en vez del uniforme. Pero ojalá que el 30 de agosto nos aprueben que podemos añadir el color negro de chores, pantalones y faldas.
Muchas gracias. Welcome back, Miss Ela.
At 6:17,
Thanks.
somebody said, I also wanted to thank the staff. I know it's a difficult time and I think you guys are doing a great job. I can tell you all really care about the students.
They're phenomenal students.
I think Jay
Thank
has
you.
done a tremendous job informing, adapting, and working hard to keep the students safe given the ever-changing guidelines. Thank you all the staff and administrators. You guys are doing great.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate you. Let's see.
How
How
soon will we
soon?
have access to ordering uniforms or PE clothes online? Hours are typically offered are during parent work hours. So they're saying if we will ever have where they can order PE clothes or clothes online.
I think that's before the pandemic, were they able to order online? I see Miss
No.
Beatrice.
No,
Okay.
we've never had that.
Right. We will try to schedule another. I cringe to say this because I know my teammate doesn't have her camera on, but we will try to schedule another uniform sale sometime soon. We just want to get acclimated to our ACES program, but maybe that might be a good time in the late afternoon. I could do it, Miss Beatrice. I've done retail and the whole 9 yards. You know, I've got experience, but we'll try to host something in the late evening for families that aren't able to make it. And then if there are any type of, please remember that you do have your grow patch that we are going to start patching. If I walk out one day and I have a bunch of burns on my arm, just know that I'm hard at work. I'm getting those patches on your shirts. And so just reach out to us if it's becoming dire, if it's becoming extreme. So Miss Ela, are you still doing only because our teammate, Miss Moreno, is being a real trooper.
I can do
Okay.
it.
Yeah, do that one and then I'll keep myself unmuted.
Mr.
Please.
Williams estaba traduciendo una pregunta que alguien preguntó sobre si pueden hacer órdenes de nuestros uniformes o de polo o los uniformes de educación física. Si vamos a tener o tenemos en cuenta tal vez hacer órdenes por línea, porque sabemos que nuestras ventas de uniformes usualmente son durante las horas de trabajo de los padres, o ella preguntaba que si tal vez podíamos hacer algún programa donde lo hacían, pueden ordenar la ropa por internet. Y entonces estamos diciendo que nunca habíamos ofrecido esa opción, pero Mr. Williams está diciendo que tal vez ahora que empiece nuestro programa después de escuela podamos hacer una venta más tarde. Mr. Williams dice que él también trabajó en tiendas, o dice que tal vez él puede hacer una venta de uniformes más tarde. Pero nosotros les dejamos saber. Okay, thank you to all the staff for everything you guys do for our students and trying to make it as normal as possible for them. Somebody says, have a great evening to all. Thank you for everything, all your hard work.
And thank you, Maria. I'll take over so that you know, I don't want to say why to everybody on here, but.
Oh, no, I actually didn't end up getting my wisdom tooth pulled out, so I probably wouldn't be here.
You're muted, Williams.
Somebody said something in Spanish, but somebody said, you guys are doing a great job. If us as parents could be of any support, it's our job, it's our duty to be supportive to the school and to the administrators. It's, would be better if we would be supportive. We know that the situation is very difficult, and we need to use our common sense. The school can't solve every problem. The problem of COVID is upon us and everyone. So she's saying that it's our job to do the best we can in order to, and what is our responsibility as parents. So she's just saying it's their part as parents to do, or I guess I'm a parent as well. It's our part as parents to do what is we are responsible as parents to do. And just use our common sense when it comes to COVID and things like that. And then so she's saying she's gonna excuse herself from the meeting because I guess some of the questions she's just thinking, pretty much use common sense.
Well, thank you. Muchas gracias. Thank you so much. And we get it. I think all of us are, we do this because we love serving our students. They're phenomenal. I could give you 5 experiences today alone that would have you just cracking up. But we know that this is a difficult time, and some families are being hit harder. It takes everyone's stamina and patience and creativity and understanding, and just so we do welcome these opportunities to hopefully try to let you know we hear you, we understand you, and we know that you hopefully know, we know that you want what's best for your scholars, and hopefully that your concerns are our concerns. And so thank you everyone, just for participating and hanging in there with us and giving us an opportunity to serve your students every day. So thank you. Let's see. Well, since we thought we had our teammate on after coming from the dentist, I was like, we have to end the meeting. Poor Maria. That's hilarious, Maria. If there are no new questions, we probably
There's actually a couple.
Oh,
I think just a couple more. Somebody was asking about, are there any updates to the Grow Academy High School? And then are students who have been receiving mental health services from a therapist elsewhere allowed to be seen on campus by their provider?
Oh, by their providers. So, for example, we do have a relationship with Clínica Sierra Vista for coming on site. Right now, I know they probably have the same safety protocols we do as well. We're going to do whatever is best for our students. But that's an interesting question. I wasn't ready for the curveball at the end. I only because we have families on. on an as needed. So if it is something that, we think is best for the student, then I'm sure we can make some necessary arrangements. We would ask that you notify us well in advance. If you can maybe privately chat your scholar's name to Ms. Moreno in the chat box, or Nurse Carmen, so that we can be aware. We definitely want to make sure in this particular time that we support any students or families that are in need of additional services. Excellent question, thank you. And I'm sorry, for whatever reason, I have a hard time toggling through the chat box. I end up skipping 3 or 4. The high school, that's a great question. We haven't really heard an update lately. It is still slated to ideally break ground, hopefully by 2022. And so in this instance, I'm assuming no news is good news. I do know the plans are still in the work, because whenever we have meetings involving not only the construction on our site, there's construction taking place on Shafter's site. Invariably, they tell us we can go because they're having a separate meeting regarding the high school. And so it definitely is slated to occur. So fingers crossed, it will occur in the timeline that we're proposing, or is being proposed to us. Let's see.
And I think that's it.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, parents, thank you. Muchas gracias por su atender este punto, pero thank you. We understand, we know that this last week was an interesting start to the school year. And we are hearing your concerns, as we always are. If we missed anything, please feel free to call. If you drop your scholar off, we will find time to meet. Ms. Zavala hopefully can attest to that. But thank you so much. Just know that your concerns are our concerns. And so we will be in touch with you soon. Be on the lookout for the Sunday message. We'll try to put any current updates in it. See you next week in ACES. And hopefully we'll continue to move toward normalcy. Thank you. Thank you for joining us.
Muchas gracias. Buenas noches. Y este fin de semana, si tenemos más recordatorios o mensajes, por favor, los vea, y típicamente lo mandamos el domingo. Gracias.
Adiós.
Hasta mañana.